Hey guys, it's Shayna Rosen from 40. Wanted to record this quick video for you with some tips on how to become a social media superstar. You know, we live in a world with such fast-changing technology, and there's always a new marketing tool for you to try out and learn. Social media is one of these tools that has opened up an entirely new channel for businesses to build a fan base and promote their companies. When you use it right, it can really help you reach new customers, convince them to take action, and keep that relationship strong so they come back in the future. Now, it's been a source of really great success for a lot of businesses, but it's also been a major letdown for companies who don't understand that social media is a tactic, not a strategy. We know so many business owners that have come to us or wake up in the morning and say to themselves, I think I should join Facebook today, or I have a good idea, let's start tweeting. You know, their intentions are good and the motivation is commendable, but a lot of them fail to take the time to really learn the ropes and develop a plan for their social media efforts. They get so excited that they create accounts on every social network and then either let them sit dormant or they toss the keys to a new intern since supposedly they know how to use that stuff. These are two of the most common errors that we see, and they can really be big mistakes when you're starting out with social media. Now, using it as part of a comprehensive marketing strategy can yield some really great results. It'll all be futile unless you give social media the thought, time, and attention it requires. So here are some tips on how to be a social media superstar and learn the ropes. Number 1, work on building the foundations of your brand before jumping into execution. This should include, at a minimum, developing your purpose, values, and style. So your purpose is why you're in business and why you get up in the morning every day. Besides money. You can make a lot of money doing a lot of different things, but there's a reason that you went into the business that you're in. For your values, really think about those attitudes and behaviors that guide what you do every day. What are those things that you want your customers to feel coming from your company? And for your style, that's really all about your personality. So just like people, companies have a certain personality and style that they exude to their customers. So what are some of the words to describe your style or personality as a company? In addition to these 3 elements, it can also be helpful to do some additional research on what your audience is looking for from you. Do they want special deals? Are they looking for advice and tips? Or do they just want to be entertained? You also may want to look into what your competitors are doing so that you can make sure that what you're creating is different and unique and stands out from what they're doing. Number 2, position yourself. So the key questions to ask with positioning are, who are you? What do you do? Who do you do it for? And what makes you different? Answering these questions can also be really helpful for your profile description on social media networks, so really think through the answers and make sure that you're not just copying what everybody else is saying. Come up with something really unique and distinct from everyone else in your industry. The 3rd tip for becoming a social media superstar is establishing goals. Really think about what you're hoping to accomplish with your marketing efforts and how social media can help you achieve those goals. Then ask yourself why questions about your plans. Why are you doing this? Why should someone follow you? What do they hope to see from you? And why should they care? The next tip is make a plan, Stan. The more you plan ahead, the easier it's going to be to manage your social media efforts. This plan can be as simple as brainstorming content ideas or more complex with a full editorial plan with content, a calendar or schedule for posting, and an outline of each person's responsibilities. It's really up to you. It can be as simple or as complex as you want to make it. The next tip, number 5, is focus, focus, focus. Stick to your positioning and make sure the majority of your content you're posting can be tied back to those goals that we just talked about. It's fun to add some variety or random fun posts here and there, but if someone's following you because you promised them X, they're going to be really frustrated if all you post about is A, B, C, D, and E. Tip number 6, take numbers with a grain of salt. 100 engaged fans is better than 10,000 fans who have no idea who you are and what you do. So focusing too heavily on metrics can lead to short-term thinking and short-sighted decisions. It's not, how do I get more followers, like all of these posts that you see here. The better question is, how can I find more relevant followers? Tip number 7, beware of the common traps. Here are just a few no-nos that we see all the time on social media. Don't send automatic messages when people follow you. It may seem like you're doing them a favor, but it comes across as spammy and impersonal. Don't use social media as just another channel to push your message. This should be an opportunity for you to engage with your fans and followers and tell them something unique, not the same thing that they heard on your ad and your newsletter and your website. Be careful not to post too much personal stuff, especially if you're an organization and not an individual. Don't fall into that TMI trap. Be careful about retweeting lots of posts that mention or compliment you, because it can come off as cocky. Also be careful not to spam your followers with either too much content throughout the day or things that just don't apply. Like we were talking about before with if somebody's following you for a certain topic and you start posting tons of irrelevant stuff, it's just going to seem random. Number 8, try to reply to all comments regardless of their nature. If someone comments positively, it's polite to reply with an easy appreciation or additional thought to make them feel valuable and heard. If it's a complaint or a negative comment, address the issue quickly to show that you're listening and that you care. Don't delete the comment. It'll just make it look like you're covering things up, and before you know it, that's going to spiral out of control. Tip number 9, be careful who you trust. Only give the keys to your social media castle to those who you completely trust. This should be someone that understands your company's voice, style, and processes, and has the time to manage it. If you wouldn't trust this person to answer the phones or be interviewed by a news station that pops by during the day, they shouldn't be touching your social accounts. And finally, tip number 10, integrate social media into your other marketing efforts. If you think of your marketing as a car, social media is just one of the parts that keeps it going. So make sure that all of those parts are integrated and working together to get you to where you want to go. If you have an email newsletter, add social sharing features to it and feature similar content on your social media networks to reinforce that message. If you're participating in or sponsoring an event sometime soon, have a promotion where someone can tweet about your company and be entered to win a prize. These are just some simple examples of ways to tie all of your efforts together instead of just doing random acts of marketing. So with all these tools under your belt, you should be ready to take the social media world by storm. But if you do want more advice on how to incorporate these tips or just want to run some ideas past someone, get in touch with us. You can find more advice at 40agency.com or send us an email at hello@40agency.com.